And Donald Trump is only a fascist if you think America has been fascist all this time. He's the one who wants to stick with the rules we have. It's the other side that wants to change the rules of the game that we're playing. And so I think that's
when
really,
people say he's a fascist because he's doing away with critical race theory. Do you know what critical race theory is? Do you guys know what critical race theory is? Critical race theory believes in doing away with the entire capitalistic system. Yeah. It believes that these ideas of family, of freedom, freedom to assemble, freedom of speech, rule and law are inherently white ideals. That's what critical race theory believes, because they say that white people have written the history books. Now, that may or may not be true with most history books, so I'm willing to bet that if you look at high school curriculums, you probably have some Zs who are writing the history books these days. But again, this is wanting to upend and change the entire system. That's what critical race theory is. Saying we're going to do away with that and teach people, teach young children that all Americans, all people are created equal, that they should all have the same inherent, unalienable rights, and that we should judge them by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. That, to me, is not the radical point of view. When people say he wants to destroy American institutions like critical race theory, no, that's something you shoehorned in very recently to try and pull at the thread of what has made the United States of America, America. And at a certain point, too, you also do have to tell people, I hate that argument, like, if you don't like America, get the hell out. But if you don't like what the United States of America stands for, if you don't believe in the First Amendment, you don't believe in the freedom of speech, you don't believe in the right of people to have to peaceably assemble, you don't believe in freedom of religion, you don't believe that churches can meet unless they're wearing some mask that you said they shouldn't wear only 3 months ago, and you don't believe in the Second Amendment, listen, you don't like the United States of America, this just isn't the country for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and on that subject of critical race theory, you know that Robin DiAngelo, who wrote White Fragility, that's a real popular book. This is what she says about free societies. She says that, you know, the idea of individual autonomy that underlies liberal humanism, the idea that people are free to make independent, rational decisions that determine their own fate, was viewed as a mechanism by critical race theory for keeping the marginalized in their place by obscuring larger structural systems of inequality. In other words, it fooled people into believing they had more freedom and choice than societal structures would actually allow. So what they're saying is that actually a free society is counter to their fundamental worldview, right? It's just this manifestation of white supremacy.
And that's why they also believe that you need to check your privilege, period. If you live in, it's not just if you're white, if you live in a country that has been at any point established by a majority of white people, you are therefore a part of this majority, and you need to check your privilege, sit down and shut up. That's why you have people out there. Listen, black Americans who lived through the Civil Rights Act, they didn't feel entitled to get up on presidential candidate stage and steal their microphone. That would have been unheard of. They would say, well, listen, we want equal rights. We're not for theft.
Yeah.
We're not for assault. Right. But now it's, hey, if you say, hey, hold on a second, I'm for equal rights, but I'm not for theft or assault. Critical race theory, and like you're talking about that book, DiAngelo, is, hey, you don't even have a right to say you're against theft or arson with the wildfires. You have to sit down and shut up because of the color of your skin exclusively. Yeah. And Donald Trump is saying, we're going to do away with that in schools. That's not what we should be teaching our children. That is not creating a whole new system and eroding trust in American institutions. That is reverting American institutions to what they always had been and what they were designed to be and what we got right. I would say after the 1960s, we got those things right when we had full and total equality. And if you look at the state of African American families and all minorities in the United States, they were doing better than they are now, than after the Model Cities program, if you look at Lyndon Johnson, than after the welfare reform that you see that happened under Bill Clinton. They were doing better. We had stronger families. We had stronger black households. They had lower crime. They had more fathers in the households. Why do you think at this point Donald Trump is leading with Latino voters in Miami? Now, a big part of that is the Cuban vote, but guess what? Latinos at this point in this country are rejecting this idea that, oh, okay, Jesus, you think we only care about immigration? Come on, we're people too, okay? We have other things that we care about. You say we pay taxes, but I pay taxes. I don't want to pay that much in taxes, okay? Like, they have rejected this idea now that they should be seen exclusively through the prism, through this lens of race. Yeah. And that's why I disagree with identitarians. That's why I disagree with the far right that you see from Europe. Now, that stems from what? Europe is very different. These countries were a people. They were a race. People in South America, they saw themselves as a race of people. Now, the United States of America really is a people. But it's a people, we have a people that are Irish, Italian, Jewish, Portuguese American, Colombian American, African American. We are all Americans now because we're several generations into this melting pot where we subscribe to these inherent values and ideas. And you are seeing now identitarians, the people who say it's about white. And if this country isn't just a huge majority white, we're going to lose the country. No, you just need to mitigate the losses with minorities who have been taken for granted for so long. You're seeing Trump lead with Latinos. You're seeing polls come out over 30% approval with black Americans. That is monumental, and we need to build on that rather than taking a page from the leftist playbook and focusing on race. We are a people now in the United States. Unlike Europe, unlike the entire continent of Africa, we're not a people predicated on a race. We are a people now several generations deep who have subscribed to fundamentally, inherently American values, which, by the way, are very unique values. People don't understand freedom of speech doesn't exist in any other country outside of the United States. It's not a thing. The Second Amendment, as we have it in the United States, is not a thing anywhere else. You may not like it, but that's what makes us unique, like Mexico with sombreros and tacos. We all have our culture. I like American culture. I think it's better than other countries. That's why I choose to live here. And I don't want to erode trust in those American values or institutions, and neither does Donald Trump. The people who say, let's do away with everything that has made America the United States of America and teach people that they should see everyone through the lens of race, like South American countries, like African countries, like Europe did for a very long time, and likely will do again, because we all know with Europe, they kind of get it right for a few decades, then they fuck up again. I actually think that America has done it better than any other country, and I would like it to stay that way.
Watch Good Morning Mug Club live every Monday through Thursday at 10:15 Eastern.